Hopefully that picked up. Hey guys, this is Henry, just Henry. In the 2024, I guess, waste management recap, I was sentenced to do a little episode all on my lonesome because I, totally my bad, left Jackson on his own to record an episode of our podcast by himself because I was in Spain with my family and I neglected to tell him that I was going to be. So we said that this year I'd be doing an episode totally by myself, and here I am. It's the last episode of the year, so don't worry, I didn't forget, even if it might seem like I did. But yeah, this is my punishment. I gotta put myself in Do Not Disturb, because otherwise all my notifications are gonna pop up the entire time, and I can just edit this out. It doesn't even matter, but I probably won't. So anyway, I'm recording in my home bedroom, as you can tell, if you have been watching this podcast for a long time. I've done many episodes here, but typically only over the summer because the entire time this has been going on, I've been in college. Now I go here. I live in California. It's weird. But here's my stuff. You're going to be spending an hour and a half of your time today just with me. And I'm trying to do a little monologue like Jackson and I normally do. We do a little back and forth, and then he tells me to kill myself, and then I say, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Waste Management Podcast. Today I have something special in store. I got a couple of special things, actually. I have an interesting fish fact. I have a guest poem from Jackson, and he doesn't even know about it, technically, so that's going to be fun. But I'm going to start off today with something a little near and dear to my heart because this is the Henry solo episode. And as we all know, I fucking love Pikmin and I never shut up about it. So we're going to be doing a little Pikmin tier list. I'm doing all the enemies. I'm not doing the Pikmin. The Pikmin are all like the Pikmin themselves, like Pikmin in Pikmin. Try saying that 10 times fast. I kind of just like all of them. Let me start recording so I can actually have this. There we go. But all the Pikmin are like equally cool in my opinion. They all do different shit. I mean, like I have my favorite. The blue ones look weird, but my favorite color is blue. My username is BlueTunes. Like I feel like it'd be kind of a betrayal of who I am as a human being to say that I don't like the blue Pikmin. And also I love all of the like underwater areas and enemies of Pikmin 1 through 4, I suppose. Even Hey Pikmin, the water levels in that game are not bad because since it's a side scroller, you can like move and you can actually aim the Pikmin wherever you want, and the aim is like pretty good because it's a side scroller instead of like a 3D environment, and it's done well. The game is not that great, and it was on 3DS. It doesn't really matter. I don't have to talk about Pikmin the entire time. I promise I won't. But we are going to start off with a Pikmin tier list, and Jackson is going to watch this, and he's going to go, oh, fucking brother, dude. Of course he's doing this, but that's okay. So starting off, I think it has all of the enemies in Pikmin 1 through 4, as far as I know. And I have a list of them off to the side of me because I didn't bother to memorize all of their names. And also I haven't encountered all these enemies. There are a couple of them that I've never seen. And so we're just going to tier list them. And I think part of the fun of this being a podcast is that I'm going to have to describe all of them to you because this is, while accompanied with a video, essentially supposed to be a mostly auditory experience that you could listen to into the car or listen to in the car. So yeah, I'm going to try and describe the enemies to the best of my ability, and hopefully that is a little bit enjoyable because if you know what they look like, you're going to be like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? But that's part of the fun. So here we go. Starting off, this is the, oh my God, what is this? It's like the armored cannon beetle. It's sort of like a mini boss. They're all labeled, like they have a little number next to their names as to what game they're from. But technically, especially now that Pikmin 4 is out and it has all the caves, most of these enemies from Pikmin 4 are like enemies from past games that show up. So there might be some repeats in here, but that's fine. But this is the armored cannon beetle. I think I'm going to go off and say this guy is like a fun, how do I describe him? He kind of looks like a black bowling ball. Is like a shell, and then he has like legs that expand out. He's got like a vacuum tube mouth, kind of like if you ever seen this is gonna be a fish reference because we all know I'm the fish guy. But if you see how like fish eat and their mouths like open up like that, kind of like a little suction cup, he has like a little suction cup mouth. And he also has a little suction cup. He's like a beetle. He's got like a round shell, like a bowling ball, and then these like arms that protrude out, sort of just like any other bug. So I guess imagine like a regular beetle, but with a big bowling ball on its back, and the bowling ball has a suction cup on it. And he sucks up your Pikmin and also anything in the environment, and then he spits out like one of those like exploding rocks at you and kills you. It's so fucking annoying. But he is a good enemy. I would qualify him more as like a mini boss. Like he's not like a story boss necessarily. He is in Pikmin 1, but he's not. You can run into them in Pikmin 3 and 4 and stuff. But I think I'm going to give it like a solid A tier, I think. Like it's a classic timeless enemy, you know. I don't know, like it's just like a good maybe I'll go solid B. Actually, I'm going to put him in B for now cuz we have a ton to go through and I'm going to end up sort of changing my rankings as we go through, I'm sure. But he's a good guy. He's a good enemy. He's a good like mid starting point tier, but definitely on the higher side. Like as I feel B, he will not be the only guy in there for sure, but he'll be towards the top. And then we have beady long legs. There are multiple of these like types, like enemy typology in the game. They're like the big giant like orb in the center, and then they have these like they typically have 4 legs that protrude in like an X. Like if you were looking from the top, the legs come out. Four of them are like evenly spaced, and then they go down to the ground. And they also happen to have like suction cup feet. So I guess I don't know. The Pikmin enemies have like a lot of suction cups, but it's kind of like he looks like a disco ball, and then he's got like legs coming down, but not the texture of a disco ball, but imagine like a ball suspended from the air, kind of like that. That's beady long legs, and he is a boss in the first game, and he also shows up as a mini boss in a lot of the other games. One of my favorite secret areas in Pikmin 3 has a beady long leg, but I'm not going to tell that story because it's not fucking interesting. I think I'm actually not fighting this thing is annoying as hell. You have to throw your Pikmin and then they will like crawl up the legs towards the center of the beady long legs and then do damage. I remember when I was younger and I first played Pikmin 3, which was in like 2015, so I was like 12 maybe. I just like could not wrap my head around the fact like the enemies, it just takes so long to fight. Because your Pikmin have to go on this like fucking adventure up the legs just to get to the center, and then it does this like move where it shakes them all off anyway, and it doesn't matter. So I'm gonna throw him. He's just frustrating to fight, but that's also sort of like a good enemy quality. There are other enemies of this type that I think do more and are more interesting, so I'm gonna put him in C tier. He's annoying to fight, which could be good or bad depending on how you look at it. But I think they're like. He's a good baseline, but they innovate on this enemy typology later in the games, and I think they do a better job. Breadbug is like super fucking annoying to fight, but they're kind of really cute. Like a lot of these enemies, I think, and obviously this tier list is just my personal taste. You're gonna notice that I really don't like certain. Like there will be things that you'll be like, oh, I understand. Like Henry doesn't like this type of enemy design, I guess. But also looking further in the tier list, it has like the different variations of their design too. I think I will say like here's the breadbug from Pikmin 4 and such, and like the breadbug from Pikmin 2. I think I'm gonna have to put this one a little bit high. Like for the breadbugs, I like this design. I think the most of all of them. I'm gonna have to put them in A. They also make like a funny little sound, I think. So that's cool. That's a good one. Next, before we have the like regular Bulborb, which is this guy, the Spotty Bulborb, we have the Spotty Bulbear, and that's these guys, which are like the bigger brother. I guess they're probably cousins. This enemy is like a chapped ass lips having ass. Like they have like cracked lips. They look. How do I even describe this? I guess I didn't describe the breadbug either. I'm sorry. The breadbug looks like a little like if you've ever had a hot dog, like they're like a little appetizer. They're like a hot dog, and then like wrapped in like a little like bread dough. They look like the dough looks like a croissant, but the bread bug in Pikmin looks exactly like that type of food, but just with little legs. I don't remember what they're called. I got pigs in a blanket. They look like pigs in a blanket, but with legs. And that's the bread bug. Now the Bulbear, they're weird. They look like They have like ladybug spots, kind of like the other Bulborbs do. Um, I don't even know how to describe. They're just like an oval, I guess. And then they have like snail eyes, like picture Gary from SpongeBob. They have eye stalks. And then they like the front half of the oval is like a pale yellow color, and that's like where their mouth is and stuff. And then the back half they have like ladybug patterns. The Bulbear, it has like a black back with red spots, and a Bulborb has a red back with white spots. And so this is the Bulbear. This is the bigger like cousin of the Bulborb. And I personally really like them. Fighting them is annoying, but I like their design more than I think I like the Bulborb. I think I have to go ahead and just put the regular Bulborb goes in A. It's just iconic. You've probably been killed by it in like the stupid ass Pikmin map in Super Smash Brothers. I think it's in Ultimate, and it's in the Pikmin map is in Ultimate, and it's in like Smash 4. But I think it's originally on the Super Smash Bros. Brawl for the Wii. But that map has a Bulborb, and it's like a stage hazard, and you can throw your friends or your enemies, whoever you're playing Smash Bros. With. They might be your enemy after you're done playing Smash Bros. But you can throw them into the Bulborb, and it chomps down, and it's like an insta-kill stage hazard. So the Bulborb, even if you don't play Pikmin, is like, I feel like the iconic imagery of Pikmin. You know, I gotta put it in S. It's a good enemy. That's like the iconic Pikmin. If you've ever seen a Pikmin like paraphernalia of any kind and you see an enemy, it's the Bulborb. And they can be cute, even though they look kind of weird and they have the eye stalks. The Bulbear I really like personally, so I'm gonna put him in A. And you'll see a little trend with where I put the smaller ones because I don't like them as much. But I think the Bulbear, they have like chapped ass lips for some reason. I don't know why that was the design choice that they made. And Bulborbs are usually sleeping when you find them, and so they're not aggressive at first. And they're like kind of cute if you leave them alone to their environment. Bulbears will attack you if you get within like a certain proximity. So they're not necessarily as, I mean, they're much more hostile, but I think they have like more of a unique behavior, which makes me like them a little bit more. Thank you, Dell, for your notification. Okay, the next enemy on the list is the burrowing Snagret, which, other than making me feel like I'm saying a slur, is an interesting enemy design. It kind of looks like an ostrich head. It has an ostrich head. Like it is a bird, sort of. It has like an ostrich head and then like a long neck, like an ostrich. But the neck it has like reptile, like snake scales on it. Like it looks much more reptilian than bird-like, avian, I guess. Actually, they're called avians. But and then instead of it like tailing off into like a snake body or like a lizard body or anything like that, it's the bird head with the bird beak, and then the like snake-like neck, and then there's actually just the feet like under the ground, and then they dig like that. And when you kill them, they pop out of the ground, and they usually like drop something big from their mouth. Fighting these things is really annoying, but I actually like them a lot as an enemy. Although I think, there are again more design iterations as you go on of the burrowing Snagret, and I think I like this one potentially the least. Just because for the time, like Pikmin 1 is the first game in the series, obviously. The graphical fidelity is probably the lowest. I think the enemy just like looks better as you go in time because it's just like a better 3D model of the enemy. So I'm going to put him in, he's not bad. We're going to put him in bottom of B for right now for the burrowing Snagret. Next we have, what are the babies? Oh, they're just called dwarfs. The dwarf Bulbear is next. And I like the Bulbear. I think of all the Bulborb variations, it's probably my favorite. And it is, I think, other than the boss, it is like the only Bulborb variation found in Pikmin 1. So it's like the other iconic enemy, I guess. But I really don't like how the baby one looks with the chapped lips. Like, he just looks weird as fuck. This is like the kid at the lunch table that would always ask you to trade your food and like wouldn't leave you alone when you said no. Like, he just looks like there's something up with him. Like he's just got like an odd vibe to him. I really don't like it's small, which you think would make it like kind of cute, but the bigger version is like much more imposing, and I like it a lot. The small one just looks kind of, frankly, he just looks like a freak. And I'm gonna put him in D tier. He's definitely not my favorite enemy. The dwarf Bulborb I definitely like much more. I don't like it as much. I don't think it's as iconic. Like it's a little bit of like a cuter version of the regular Bulborb. Again, it's got like the oval body with the red back and the white spots. Same with the dwarf bull bear. It's got like the red spots in the back with the black back. But I think I'm gonna have to go and I'm gonna put it in. I like the Bulborbs though. They're like iconic Pikmin. I'll put them in top of B for right now. B for Bulborb. You could say D for Dwarf Bulbear. That's where he goes. And B for Bulborb. That's why he goes there. And the next, sort of going off of this like Bulborb train, this is the final boss of Pikmin 1. Or I guess what about the Smoky Prog? The Smoky Prog is a secret boss, I think. From what I remember. I haven't played the game in a really long time. I bought the stupid like Pikmin 1 and 2 bundle on the Switch when that was released, but I haven't actually gone back through and played it yet. So I should probably fucking do that when I have time. I've been playing Silksong this whole break, so Jackson and I will be talking about that next episode. I finally beat the game, actually, today. But now I have to go back through and get the true ending because I just got to the credits and I didn't do like the rest of the game. But that's not important right now. Next enemy is Emperor Bulblax, which is sort of built the same way as a Bulborb. They have like an oval body, and then like half of the body is like that pale yellow color in the front, and they have the eye stalks, and then the back is a different color. But this time, it looks more like the back of of Emperor Bulblax is green, and he's like sort of like he's got like layers, like he looks like melted ice cream on the sides because I think it's supposed to be like an older member of the Bulborb family. I think he's really cool. You fight him again in one of the later games. I know you fight him for sure in Pikmin 4 again. I remember doing that cave, and I like his model there more just because. Actually, is he an enemy like on this tier list in Pikmin 4? I'm kind of hoping he's not. Oh, he is. Okay, yeah, that model just looks... Oh, it looks so much worse. Okay, yeah, number 1. Oh, you also fight him in Pikmin 2. That's right, I forgot about that. I think I'm going to... The model from Pikmin 1 and 2 is essentially the same. I'm going to put him in A tier. I really like his design. He's kind of like... Like, he really takes like the snail vibe of the Bulborbs. Like, he's got like a really big tongue, which I know snails don't have tongues. They don't have mouths. But like... Or maybe they do. I think they have mouths, but they definitely don't have tongues. But the Bulblax, it's like a boss, and you walk into this cave and you fight him, and he's like really threatening, and he's like drooling everywhere. Like he's got like that, like sort of gross, like wet vibe of a snail that makes him feel like very alien. And I think they do it really well, even in Pikmin 1 and 2, despite being on the GameCube. But yeah, like it's a really, really good boss. I like him a lot. He's going in A tier. He's a solid pick. Next we have, what the fuck are these guys called? And I know there's a male and female. Okay, this is the female sheer grub. Both of these enemies are annoying as fuck. They're also just like little cylinder guys. I mean, they just look like grubs. The female ones are pink, and the male ones are like purple, but like the little ridges in them are brown. Like, you know how maggots have like rigid, like textured, like ridges in them? The female ones are all pink, and the male ones are purple with brown ridges. They just pop up out of the ground and start attacking you. A lot of the time, the female ones just take your Pikmin, I think, and like they like run away with them, which is more of an annoyance than it is like a threat. The male ones are so fucking annoying. And also, I kind of want to be a little bit more women empowering on this tier list. I don't like either of these enemies. They're really annoying, and the design kind of grosses me out because I don't really like bugs all that much. So I'm gonna put the female one in C and the male one in D just because I like the female one. The female one is less irritating to fight, and also Jackson is the voice of women, so I don't want to do anything obviously negative on this podcast. The next one, these are the blowhogs, right? But they have names. This is the fiery blowhog. This guy looks like he's from Dr. Seuss. And I feel like that's a good way of describing it. He has like a red like suction cup mouth that leads to his body, and then the body's like all textured. They blow fire, so like your red Pikmin are resistant to their attacks, and it's like all cool and whatever. I need to go faster with this tier list because otherwise this is going to take me all episode, and I have more that I want to talk about. But the fiery blowhog, they have a red mouth. There's another one called like the watery blowhog, and they have a blue mouth, and they spit water, and they're like a blue Pikmin. Blah 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 blah. But they look like a pig, but instead of having like a little pig nose, they have like a vacuum snout, but that's also their mouth. Like they breathe out of that hole, and you fight them with the according element Pikmin. I like this enemy. I think it's good. It's like a solid B tier. I think below the armored cannon beetle. It's not as iconic for me, but I still like it. Next we have Gulix. This guy is he comes back in a later game. I mean, he's still relevant, obviously. And I don't really remember this as much in Pikmin 1 because I haven't played it in so long. But he kind of just looks like a big, like any like slime enemy, like generic slime RPG video game enemy. But he's got like a ball. He's got 2 balls inside of him. One of them is they're like different sizes, but he uses that to like transform into different shapes and whatever. Honestly, I just think it's like kind of boring. In the same way that Pikmin 3, the final boss, is what is that guy called? The Plasm Wraith. I think that's like a little bit better take on the slime enemy, but I honestly don't really like him either. He's the final boss of Pikmin 3. We'll get to him later in the tier list. But the Gulix, like he's cool in concept, and I think at the time like it was probably a scary thing, but like I feel like we've just seen the sci-fi goo a little bit too much. I'm going to put him in C. I'm just not a huge fan, personally. Next to the Honey Wisp, these guys are awesome. They drop nectar for your Pikmin. They sort of look like a little amoeba. Like they have like the little like stalks that germs do. And then they have like a little nectar thing hanging from them. So they look like a little amoeba with like a ball at the end. I mean, just like imagine like an orb. And they drop nectar for your Pikmin, which when they drink, it fully forms their flowers, which makes them stronger and attack more. So it's kind of more of like a help than a hindrance. They're just hard to kill because they fly in the air. So I'm going to put them in A tier or B. I'm going to put them at top of B. B because they're very helpful, but also I don't really love the design. I don't think it's like crazy cool or anything. Next we have the iridescent flint beetle, which look exactly like, there's a real beetle that they look like in real life. I don't remember what they're called, but they're like a very green color. These guys have like golden eye stalks and purple feet, but other than that, they look like a regular beetle. They're very rounded. And when you throw your Pikmin on them, they also, it depends on the game. Usually they drop nectar, which again, you can use to power up your Pikmin. And I like them more. They're a lot more bug-like, which feels... A lot of the Pikmin enemies that I know, like the Bulborbs, feel very sort of like foreign and alien, but I kind of like... I don't like... I guess I don't like the soft-looking bugs as much, like the organic, like, looking bugs. They're a little bit annoying. Or not annoying, but like they're just a little bit like gross to me. Like anything that looks like an organ that's come to life, anything that looks like it should be inside of you that's on the outside, kind of freaks me out a little bit. It's why I didn't go to med school. So I'm just not a huge fan of them. But I do like the iridescent glint beetle or flint beetle. It drops nectar. It's helpful. There are other ones later, which we'll get to. But this guy is, he's iconic. He gets to stay. Next, we have the Mamuta, which is they have like a newer model of this in Pikmin 4. So I think I'm going to put him lower just because of that, because it's not like the greatest graphical fidelity of this guy, but he kind of just looks like a stuffed animal. He looks like an ugly doll. If you remember, like, I'm not saying ugly space doll. Like there was a brand for a really long time called Ugly Dolls that like were really popular when I was a kid. He looks like a sort of like patchwork, like stuffed animal guy, but he doesn't have a head. His arms just like stick out, and then his eyes are sort of like where, like at the head of his arms, I guess, like this, like where your like pecs would be or your chest. But I kind of like the design. It's sort of it's really different than all the other Pikmin enemies. Like it feels a little bit foreign. But he looks like a My Singing Monsters character. He looks like the main guy, but it doesn't really fit to me with the rest of the enemies. Like I like the design, but it doesn't feel as Pikmin as a lot of the other stuff, so I'm going to put him in 1. Or I'm going to put him in C. He's from Pikmin 1. We have the Pearly Clam Clamp. Try saying that 10 times fast. Clam Clamp. These things are, they just look like clams. You've fought them in every video game ever. I know Kirby has enemies like this. I know Starfy, The Legend of Starfy has enemies like this, but that makes sense. It's an aquatic game. I just think it's like kind of overdone. Like it looks like Clam Pearl, the Pokemon. It looks like a clam. It's got like a pink center and a pearl on it. This is something that SpongeBob would fight. It's going in C tier. Next we have, I don't actually know what the puffed Pikmin are called. I think they're just called like parasite Pikmin. They're purple and they have a little mushroom at the top. And these guys for me are going in S tier. They're iconic. They're what spawned the idea that we were going to get alternate Pikmin. Actually, no. Maybe I'll put them in A tier because they had the idea that you were going to like expand upon the available Pikmin to you. And then at the end of Pikmin 1, they show like all these onions and whatever, and you don't unlock more than the Pikmin just given to you, especially in Pikmin 1, which is just red, yellow, blue. But they have they just look, it's a purple Pikmin with like fully white eyes, and he's got a mushroom on the top instead of a leaf. I like him. He's cool. But I think because of the blue balls that he gives you, like you have the idea that you might get to have these like unique parasite Pikmin that have a different effect, and then they sort of take it away from you. They gave us purple Pikmin later in Pikmin 2, but it didn't necessarily make up for the fact that, you know, these were actually just an enemy. But I do like the effect that it's like the Puffstool, which is the next enemy, which is literally just a mushroom with like eye stalks. He's going at the top of B because I do maybe the top or bottom of A. I'll put him bottom A because I think the effect is cool. It's very different than a lot of the other enemies in the game. Or at least there are a lot of enemies in the game, like later games that have this effect where it like they turn your Pikmin against you. Especially because Pikmin is a strategy game. Like taking all of your units and then like sort of making them fight against each other, I think is a good way to like mix up the combat of the game. So he's going in A tier, and then accompanying him in A tier, but at the top of A tier, maybe below the Emperor Ball Blacks, of course. At the top of A tier is going to be the Puffstool Pikmin, like the possessed one with the mushroom on his head. Next, we have the Puffy Blowhog. This guy looks like a whoopee cushion that hasn't fully been inflated. But instead of being pink, it's purple, and it has blue stripes towards its nose. There's a lot of like similar design language with this like snout in Pikmin enemies. I feel like it looks very like animalistic. Like it looks like an elephant trunk, I guess, which is cool. Puffy Blowhog, they're kind of just annoying. Like they suck up a bunch of air and then they blow it out and they like blow your Pikmin away. They're not really difficult to fight. I don't really love the design personally. Like I think it's cool, but it feels a little bit like too cartoony for me, so I'm putting it in C tier. The next guy we got, what the fuck is his name? The Shearwig. These are just bugs. They're green bugs with wings and they have red eyes. They look sort of like fleas. Or not fleas. They look like fruit flies, I guess. Like they're very basic. They actually don't have legs, which I think is kind of cruel for whoever designed them. So they can't land. They are flying always. They are stuck in limbo because they cannot land. So I guess they just fly around waiting for you. They have an infinite energy source. Maybe they photosynthesize. I have no idea. But I think I like them. It's kind of just like a generic bug enemy. It's going at the bottom of B. They're fine. I've been waiting for this one. This is a Smoky Prog. It's a secret boss in Pikmin 1. I mentioned it earlier. Once you get all 30 parts, you are able to fight and unlock this boss. And I think this boss is like a testament. It looks like a frog. I guess I should start out. It looks like a frog. It has bright, like magenta, like pinkish, reddish eyes, kind of. But because it's called the Smoky Prog like frog, not Prague like the country. It has like this like smoky texture to it. It's still green, but it kind of looks like a mirage. Like I can't imagine what it was like to play that game in 2002 when it came out and be like, oh my god, there's like this secret boss. Like it has all these like cool smoke effects to it. Like it feels like something that you like unlock. And it's not even that it's a difficult fight against the boss. It's just something really cool that you find that you like might not have thought that you were gonna find, which I think is pretty awesome. I like the Smoky Prog a lot. I think it's a cool enemy, and it is going in S tier, below the Bulborb. What are these called? The Swooping Snitch Bug. These guys are fucking annoying. They look like... How do I even describe these? They have like a round body and two like long arms. They are again designed by the same cruel motherfucker that designed the Shearwig and didn't give it any legs. So they are also flying forever and not able to touch the ground. They grab your Pikmin and then they like hold them in the air and then they kill them. So that's really frustrating, especially in the first game because you don't have, like in the later games you have flying Pikmin, like Pikmin 3 and 4 you have like the winged Pikmin. But these guys are really annoying to deal with. I do like the design, like it feels much more Pikmin oriented. Like I like all the enemies that are like bug oriented. So I'm moving the Honey Wisp down. I actually don't like it. I like all of the like My favorite thing about Pikmin is that it makes you feel small in like the environments that you're in, and the environments feel like actual things that you could find outside. Like they feel very much like part of nature. And I get that the idea of Pikmin is that it takes place like thousands of years after humans are gone, which they sort of changed in this most recent Pikmin 4 game. And the kitchen area of Pikmin 4 is my least favorite area because I think it looks too like fake. But my favorite part of Pikmin is that you can like sort of imagine like the Pikmin like walking around in environments that you are familiar with. And so all the enemies that feel like very foreign to nature that I'm familiar with, I don't generally like as much. These guys I could see existing. I just feel bad that they don't have legs. But they are like they're like a good challenge. And I think they're more unique than just like the Shearwig, which frankly is just like kind of a boring bug enemy. So I'm going to put them middle of B. We got this guy. What is his name? The Water Dumple. He also has chapped lip syndrome, but his lips are like bright pink and his body is really dark blue. It just looks like a cylinder. And I think I don't really remember these guys that much. Like they're fine. They're not particularly exciting, but they're also not like particularly annoying. I think I'm just gonna have to put them in. I'm gonna put them at the bottom of A just because I like that their name is the Water Dumple. I like the word dumple. It sounds like dumpling, and it's fun to say. Next, we have the regular Wollihop, which actually doesn't show up in a lot of other games, but it's just a frog. And they call it the Wollihop because it's, it just hops like a frog. It has bright red eyes. It's a lot more round than like a regular frog. Like imagine just like all the Pikmin enemies are like very round. They're very rotund. The designers of Pikmin, Shigeru Miyamoto hates circles, I guess, because all of the Pikmin enemies are circular. The Wollihop, it has like bright orange feet. It looks like a frog. It's on all fours. But I like it. It's kind of cool. It's kind of fun. I'm gonna put him at the like sort of towards the top of B, above the blow. I definitely like him more than the blowhog. And then we have the Wolpole, which is another water enemy. I don't like it nearly as much as I like the Water Dumple because his name is funny. The Wolpole is like a dark blue tadpole with like a yellow tail. It's kind of all I got. I feel like that's a pretty good description. It doesn't really like do a lot for me. I do like that it feels more like an enemy that you could find like in nature. Like if you were a kid, you were like, oh my god, I see tadpoles in like the river. Like this reminds me of Pikmin. And I'm just a nerd and I'm very immature, so sometimes I can, sort of think of that like childlike sense of wonder. I definitely like the Wolpole. It's not like the most interesting enemy design ever, but I think I'm going to put him, he goes low B for sure. Next we have the yellow Wollihop, which they end up being like way more prominent in the Pikmin games than the original Wollihop does. They kind of get rid of the original one. The yellow one is much taller. It like hops in the air. It has like a green top and then like a yellow body, and its eyes are black instead of red. But it just looks like a frog. But like a really fat frog. Like super round. Not like a chubby frog. I mean, like it literally looks round. But they jump up in the air and then they slam down on your Pikmin. I actually like them a lot. I think they're an iconic enemy. I'm putting them up with the bread bug and the bull bear. I like them more than the bull bear. They're a lot cuter. Okay. Now we are moving on to Pikmin 2. And this is a game that I have played the least of, so a lot of these I'm just going to be basing off of visual appearance and also the experience that I have with them in other games. The first guy is the Anode Beetle. He looks like a ladybug, except he has red eyes and his shell is black and he has yellow spots. Just off rip, vibes, I like this guy. I'm sure he probably like gives you some shit when you kill him. He's going bottom of A for the same reason that the water Dumple is. Next these fucking spider guys are so annoying. The Anode Dweevil. The Dweevil enemy type is introduced in Pikmin 2, and there are a lot of them in later games. They're so fucking annoying because they drop down from the ceiling and they sort of get an ambush on you. I think I'm just gonna put them in D for Dweevil. I really don't like them. The Antenna Beetle, I don't really remember these. I don't remember them from other games either. I like the design. They look like a beetle, but again, for some reason, they don't have like this guy looks like his life. It's like painful to be him, Like I like him, but I don't know. I think the eyes are too big for me. He's like a beetle, but he doesn't have like he has like 2 arms that extend out to become his legs, and then he doesn't actually have legs. Like he looks like his life sucks. He's got big red eyes, and he's like sitting upright, but he's like sat up by his leg. I don't know. I don't like this guy. Now I guess I'm just being mean to this beetle for no reason, and I feel a little bad. I think he's gonna go in. I'm gonna put him in D tier. I don't really like this guy. I can't lie. Pikmin 2 is my least favorite Pikmin game, which I know is a super unpopular opinion in the community. A lot of people love Pikmin 2. It's their favorite game. The caves in the game are really fun, but it's not really the reason that I love Pikmin. I really like the sort of like outdoor nature environments, which is why 3 is my favorite game, which is also a super hot take. What are these beetles? These are cannon beetle larvae. Okay, I do actually, these guys are annoying to fight, but I do like them a lot, and they're a lot more of an iconic Pikmin enemy. They show up in 2 and 3 and 4, and they sort of look like, how do I describe these? They look like a big like larva of a bug, but they have like a big suction cup mouth again. And they bury underground, and then they come out of the ground, and they spit a giant rock at you, which is really annoying. But they're an iconic Pikmin enemy, and because of that, I think I'm going to put them up in A. This isn't my favorite iteration of them. Maybe I'll put them in B. I'll put them in high B, next to their... put them right below the bigger armored beetle, the armored cannon beetle, because they're the lower version. Next enemy on here is another BD Longlegs? I think it is another BD Longlegs. As far as I can tell, this is another iteration of the BD Longlegs. Because is this one that... Yeah, this isn't the one with the gun, which we'll get to. That one's cool. I don't really like this guy. I think for the same reason he's going in C. I like the color scheme a little bit more. It's a little bit less in your face. The one from Pikmin 1 is red and yellow. This one's like a darker brown and yellow, which is a little bit easier to look at. So I think I'm going to put him top of C. It's the same thing. He's like a ball with like weird... He's got 4 giant legs extending. He's got suction cup feet. This is the bread bug. Same model as Pikmin 1 because they just used all the same assets. I'm putting him in A next to the other one. We got another ball bear. I don't know. This guy looks sad. Like this is just bad. This is not a flattering picture of this ball bear. I think he's going in... I just think it's funny because I just think that this image just looks so much like he just looks really sad. Like this ball bear looks miserable. And I'm gonna put him in C tier, just because of that. I like the ball bear as an enemy; it's still A tier, but just because I think it's funny, I'm putting him in C tier. Next, we have the Bulb Min, which is like a Bulborb Pikmin fusion, which I think for the same reason, it just looks like a Bulborb but with like a Pikmin leaf sticking out of it. I'm putting it in A tier next to the the infected Puffstool Pikmin, just because I think it's cool that they like sort of nodded to the idea that there was going to be different Pikmin types and then didn't actually explore it, and that's bullshit. This is the Bulborb, same model. I'm putting him up in S, but below the Puff Frog, the Smoky Frog, because now it has a mirrored Pikmin on both sides, or mirrored Bulborb on both sides. This guy, what are they called? Are these just Bulborb larvae? I kind of really like how they look. Like they're kind of funny. They look like if anyone remembers the app like Talking Poo or like Friend Poo, like Train. It's like POU, not POO. I'm not talking about shit. There's like an app on your phone when I was younger that was really popular that was like, or like My Friend Pow or something, and he looks like a little like Pow, and I think he's cute. I'm gonna put him in A tier, above the bread bug even. This guy, what the heck is that? The Bumbling Snitch Bug. You have an awesome name, but because you're bumbling and you probably fall and you stink, I think I'm gonna put you in like C tier. The Bumbling Snitch Bug, it's got kind of a cool design. Oh no! Oh wait, no. These ones definitely fly in the air too, and so you're picking. No, that's messed up. I'm leaving it in C tier. It has like a gold body with like 2 antennae that stick in the air. I'm sure that there may be wings of some kind because it kind of looks like the other Snitch Bug, but I don't really remember these guys that much. So he's going in C tier. Next, we got another Burrowing Snagret. This model is even worse than the one from Pikmin 1 because he has no, at least in this model, like the feather texture doesn't stick out as much. So I feel like he kind of just looks bald as fuck. So I'm going to put him in C tier. This is the C tier Burrowing Snagret representative. Next, we have the careening Dirigabug. I feel like I'm not allowed to say that. He's got, it just looks like a little green beetle. Oh, it looks like a dung beetle. He has like a rock in his hands. It looks like a dung beetle. But they have big yellow eyes. Their shell is green, and they have balloons above them. I actually don't know what these guys do. I did not play enough Pikmin 2 to run any of these guys, which is going to be an unfortunate reality for a lot of these enemies because I just don't know them. But I like the balloons. They kind of give them a little whimsical effect. I'm putting at the top of B for balloon. I like what he looks like. I like what he's got going on. I fucks with him heavy. Let's see. We got the Cloaking Burrow Knit, which I remember these guys. There are future versions of this guy that have like he looks like a bug divided into two parts, which again, a lot of Pikmin enemies apparently look like this for some reason. Like the Bulborb has two halves. This guy, I like what he's got going on the front. He's got like a big fake red eye on the front, like a false eye to sort of, I assume, ward off predators. But then he's got like a bug larva thing in the back. They hide underground and then they like jump out and attack you. This guy, I like his little mask that he's got going on. I'm putting him in B tier. He can go above all the like generic, stupid looking enemies. Next, we've got the Creeping Chrysanthemum. This enemy is like that classic enemy in video games that looks like flowers or grass or something, and then when you go and like pick it or attack it or something, it jumps up out of the ground, which is just a video game typology that I personally love. I think it's cool. The Creeping Chrysanthemum actually looks a lot cooler than a lot of the later versions of this. So I think I'm actually going to put it in S tier. I like it that much. It's got two like flower eyes and then like a big red spiky flower as like the mouth that appears when you attack it. But I'm sure they all look like flowers, and then it jumps out of the ground at you. And then it's got like a big fat body, which I think looks funny. Next, we have I don't know that I know this guy. Oh, the Decorated Cannon Beetle. It looks exactly like the other Cannon Beetle, but he is like red instead of black. And because he's decorated and I respect our veterans, he's going in A tier. I'm going to have to start going faster because I've been talking about each of these enemies way too in depth and dawdling on, and I'm not going to have time to get through the whole list if I don't. Next, we've got the Doodlebug. Oh my god, this guy's, what a fucking awesome name. Name alone, again, you'll see that I have major name bias. He's going in A. He's even going like mid-tier A. He's going next to the Flint Beetle, the Glistening Flint Beetle. He kind of just looks like a regular bug. Again, he's round, but he's got like a brownish shell, I guess, as opposed to like the glowing one. I assume you also hit him and he drops nectar, which is helpful to you on your journey, so he gets plus points. We have the Dwarf Ball Bear again. This guy is the same model as Pikmin 1. So I'm putting him in D tier because I don't like him. We again have the Dwarf Bulborb, which I guess again I'm going to put in B tier. The model's the exact same, and now they're like yelling at each other on the tier list, which is fun. But the next one is the Orange Bulborb, which is slightly different than the other ones. Instead of it having like a pale yellow face, it has a black... It does blackface. And actually I think just because of that, they're going to D on the tier list. They have like an orange backside and then like black spots. Man, wow. Yeah, so the orange guy, he does blackface. He's going in D. We don't support racism. He's not going in the bottom, though. He's going in the bottom. We don't support racism. We got another model of the Emperor Ballblacks. Again, I really like him. He's going in A tier. I just think he's a cool boss. Nice design. I don't have the same to say about Empress Ballblacks. I know I said before that I'm putting the women Sheargrub higher because we support women, but this thing is much too bug-like for me to like the way that it looks, so I'm going back on my word. I'm not putting in D tier because that's wrong. It's a great boss, and it just looks like a Bulborb, but like the back of the Bulborb has been exploded to be like expanded to be like a giant egg sac, which feels really cool, like in concept, but it's just a little bit too like buggy and alien-y for me, so I'm not a huge fan of it. So I'm putting her in C tier. There are also much better boss fights. Like she rolls over all your Pikmin, and it's like super annoying. She's really hard to fight in Pikmin 2. The fight in Pikmin 4 is less difficult, but it's still really annoying. But it is challenging. Yeah, you know, fine. I'm putting it in B for ball borb or for Empress Ball Blacks. We got another female sheer grub. That's going in C tier, right next to the other one. The model's the same. Blowhog, that's the same as the other one. He's going in B tier. We're gonna have a lot of repeats. This guy I don't remember. The fiery ball blacks. Oh, these guys are cool because they like melt a little bit. Their design is a little freaky to me. It looks like the other bulborbs, but if they had been like left in an oven and like the sides are like sagging and the back is like on fire a little bit, like it has like a magma texture to it. The fiery ball blacks I do like, and it's ball blacks and not ball borbs, so I guess that means that like they're related to the boss versions instead. But I do like this guy. I think I'm gonna put him like high B. He looks like an old man, like because of the way that like the face droops down, makes it look like a beard. He looks like he has wisdom to pass down. Next is the fiery dweevil. I hate all the dweevils. It looks like a spider. It is red for fire, obviously. If you've played Final Fantasy, you know that fire is associated with red. Everyone knows that. Next we have the Gatling Groink. Groink feels wrong to say, but I just said it again. A little bit too close to groin for me. He's going to the bottom of B tier. Actually, I'm moving the freaking, what are these things called? The honey wisp. I actually really don't like this the more I look at it. I like what it does, but I like its effect in the game, but I don't like the design. It's gross. So it's being replaced by the Gatling Groink. Next we have, this is the giant bread bug. I really don't like how this thing looks. The bread is much too large for like the bread bug body. It's not cute like the other ones are. It looks kind of weird. I'm putting it at the bottom of C tier with my other things that I don't. It's not that I hate them like everyone in D tier. It's just that I don't love the design. Next guy we have the greater spotted jelly float. They're cool. They just look like a big pink jellyfish, but they fly in the air instead of in the water. They're like a cool standard enemy. Nothing too like out of the park with this one, I'd say. And there's another version of them that's blue, I'm pretty sure, and I like blue way more. So he's going like mid C tier. Next we have the hairy bulborb, which is just a white bulborb, and then the back has like hair on it. It's like the snow version of the fire one. I like it a lot more than I think I thought I would. They're kind of cool looking. I'm gonna put them in B tier. Like high B with the fiery guy. They can be friends next to each other. Next, we have the Hermit Crawmad. Now, these are an enemy. I actually don't really like the design of this one in particular. I like how they look much more in Pikmin 3. So I'm going to put this guy in, like, he just kind of looks like a crab. Like, he's cool. I'm going to put him, like, low B, I suppose, with the other, the top holes. This is another honey wisp. I like this design more, so I'm putting it above the other one, but only in that placement in C tier. It still looks like an amoeba. It's got like an orb on the bottom. They look like very alien to me, which I like that Pikmin is about. Like, obviously there are no little like vegetable animals like running around, and that's what Pikmin are. But like, you know, I like the design of like I like how alien, or I don't like how alien these guys look. Like, a lot of the things that I like about the Pikmin enemies is that they just feel like bugs that were, like, left alone to evolve for a couple thousand years. These guys look, like, totally odd to me, I guess. Like, they look a little out of place. Next guy is the Hydro Dweevil. I hate the Dweevils. They're annoying. These guys just, like, all the Dweevils are, like, different elements. And they take, like, the blue Pikmin would fight the Hydro Dweevil the best. I really don't like the Dweevils. They're annoying. I hate that they drop down from the ceiling. I'm putting them in D tier. Next guy, we have another iridescent flint beetle. I like him still. He's going up. I like this design a little bit less. It's not as vibrant, but he still gets B tier for sure. Then we have the iridescent glint beetle, which is actually what I thought all of them are called, but I'm now realizing that I'm wrong. These guys also give you nectar. I like their design more. They're a lot shinier, so it goes above the iridescent flint beetle in B tier. Then we have the lesser spotted jelly float, which I disagree. I think it's still great, and it's blue, which is my favorite color, so it's going above the greater spotted jelly float. Male sheer grub, D tier, probably racist. We've got the Mamuta again. This design is the same, so I'm putting him in like high C tier. Next, we have the Man at Legs, which is kind of like Man of War. I actually like these enemies a lot because they very much look like Star Wars drones to me, or like Star Wars-esque enemies. Like they look like the Droideka from Star Wars. They have like a big green center with like the four. They're kind of like the the like long legs series of enemies. But instead, like the BD long legs, but instead they like look a little bit more robotic, which makes them feel a little bit different. Like I know I said that I like the like organic enemies, but these sort of feel like they were made by people and left behind. And I think they're kind of cool. Like they have a different sort of like post-apocalyptic vibe to them. I don't think they necessarily super fit into the Pikmin universe, but I do like them as enemies. But they look like a turret with legs. He's going bottom B tier. And then we have the Mitite, which are just like little parasites. I don't like them. The way that they look freaks me out. They're going in C tier. We got another Dweevil, the Munge Dweevil. But I do love the word Munge. But it's a Dweevil. It'll go at the bottom of C, I guess. It's purple. It's a good color. I'm a big purple fan. Then we have the big orange Bulborb, which he's just doing like big black face. He's got big yellow eyes, orange behind with black spots. If anyone wants to know, the difference is just that they're a lot more aggressive, in the same way that like the ball bears are, and you can see them at night because they have big bright eyes. But because he's probably racist, he's going in D tier. Then we have the Pileated Snagret. I don't know why I said it like that. Which is like cool, but I don't like them as much as the original one. C tier. We have another whatever the fuck these things, Puffy Blowhog. Really not a fan. Bottom of C tier. What is that? The Ranging Bloister. Oh, these guys are cool. Oh, they're an underwater enemy. They look like a... Oh, yeah, I remember these guys. They look like, just like a big like pile of goop. Like they look like Muck from Pokemon, but they have like multiple tongues that stick out, and they look very like weird underwater like jellyfish kind of guys. They sort of look maybe a little bit too inorganic to me. I don't know, but I kind of like them. They're going at bottom B. They're not great. And then we have, I think the Raging Longlegs is this guy. I don't really love this enemy as much. It's just like a big black, like beady Longlegs, like spider kind of guy. He's going C tier. The Ravenous Whisker Pillar. Love the name. Don't really love what he's got going on. Kind of looks a little bit too bug-like for me. They've got a big red head, brown body that looks very like maggot-like, and I don't like those enemies, so they're going in C tier. Get the Segmented Crobster. Crobster? What the hell are you? Oh, you have like a cool arm and like a small arm. I've never seen this enemy in my life. But I kind of like the trope of like something having like a giant arm and that being like a really strong thing. So I'm going to put it in B tier. Then we've got another Shearwig. Don't love it. Never have, never will. He's going in C. This one is like a little bit even like worse looking than the ones from Pikmin 1 because they're just like all like sort of like dark. They're like I don't even know how to describe this color. It's like reddish, brownish, blackish. Not a huge fan. We have the Skitterleaf. These guys are fun because Pikmin will have like leaf tiles like layered along the ground, but every once in a while there'll be a Skitterleaf and they're an enemy. They feel very bug-like to me. They're like the bug, like leaf mimic bugs in real life. I'm gonna put them in A tier, next to the other funny little ladybug guy. Then we have the Snow Bulborb, which is different than the Hairy Bulborb. They have like a brown face with like a white back and black spots. They're not necessarily doing blackface. I think they might just be browner in color, so that's cool. And we jive with that, so I'm going to put them in... I'm going to put them in B tier, I think. I like them. They're cool. These are the other Swooping Snitch Bugs. I'm not a huge fan of them. I don't like them. They're annoying. They look bug-like, but they're annoying. I'm putting them in C. This is the Titan Dweevil. It's Dweevil. Not a huge fan. Going D tier. This guy is the Toady Bloister, which has a great name. Underwater enemy. Kind of really annoying to fight, but it has fruit. It has like a treasure on its back. And you defeat them underwater. They don't look very Pikmin-like to me, but I do like them. So I'm putting them next to the other underwater enemy, the Ranging Bloister. They look like a blob. This guy I had never seen. They're called Ujadanis. They look like a low poly enemy. I don't really know what they're about, so I'm gonna put them in D tier. Next, we have unmarked spectralids, which are just butterflies. You can't go wrong with butterflies. I think I'm putting these in A tier, maybe even towards the top, just because I like them and I'm a butterfly fan. Excuse me. Then we have the volatile Dweevil. Not a Dweevil fan. Looks like a big scary spider. Drops down on you from above. Not really a huge fan. Got another water dumple. This model is better, so I'm actually moving the one from A tier down to B tier. And this guy's going up into A tier. He's got like a big funny mouth. He looks like Clodsire, like the new regional version of Clodsire. Or, oh my god, what is Quagsire. Jesus, wow. Next we got the Water Wraith, which again is like sort of like the blob final boss enemy typology, but this guy is much scarier. I like him a lot. A lot of the boss enemies are just sort of iconic. I think I'm going to put him... He might go S, because I really don't like the Plasm Wraith. I like this guy a lot more. He's going in S for me. Next, I got the Watery Blowhog. Same thing as the Fiery one, but blue instead of red. He's going B tier. It's like a fine enemy. He's chill. We're cool with him. He looks like a pig, but instead of having a snout, he has like a vacuum tube mouth. Then we have the Withering Blowhog, which is just like the other Blowhog. It looks like a whoopee cushion, but it looks a little bit more fully inflated instead of like actively deflating. So I think I'm going to put him a little bit higher. I like just like, he looks like a little bit more filled with life. He's red. He's got a yellow mouth. He's got like a nice expression to him. He kind of almost looks like a fat Magikarp from Pokemon. I don't love him, but I like him enough. I'll put him in top C. Okay. And then we've got another Wally Hop, which is again just like a classic. I like this one. Put him next to the other one. Same model. These are again the Woolpoles, which I like because they're a little bit more like a realistic enemy. This is a worse picture of them, but they're going in B tier, standard enemy. Yellow Wallyhop, iconic. They're the frog again, if you don't remember. Green top, yellow bottom. They are going in A tier. And so that completes the Pikmin 2 enemies. I'm going to try and go through this a little bit faster because there are even more enemies in Pikmin 3 and 4. Arachnode, they sit on webs. You throw your Pikmin into them to get them out, and then they get stuck. They just look like a spider. They have a black center with like yellow and black striped legs. This is where like the visual fidelity of all the models got like really good. The Wii U Pikmin 3 is beautiful for like no reason, but these enemies are annoying and I hate them, so I'm putting them in D tier. The next one is the Arctic Armored Cannon Larva. These guys are, again, iconic, and I think this is a better model of them also compared to the old Cannon Larva. So I'm putting them above the Cannon Larva from the other games. They're also going in B tier, but they're going higher in B tier. I don't like the Arctic one as much. The color scheme is just not there for me. It's like the Arctic one is purple with like an orange mouth and it has bright purple eyes, whereas like the regular Armored Cannon Larva is green and it looks a lot more like leaf textured to me, which I like. So they're going in B tier. Next, we've got the Armored Maudad. This is the first boss of Pikmin 3, and I love this guy. His design is awesome. He has like a big crystal shell. I'm putting him up there with the Smoky Prog. This is like one of my favorite bosses in Pikmin history. You have to like break his shell using rock Pikmin, which are newly unlocked in Pikmin 3. You get to use a new Pikmin, and it sort of like does a really good job of showing off the mechanics, but also the boss design is just really cool and like very imposing. It's huge. Like it is giant. It lives inside of this like dead tree that you have to walk into the stump of, and then you're like looking in the tree stump. You're like, oh, there's a signal in here. Like I've got to find something. And then this giant like centipede bug with a crystal shell just crawls out. It's dark blue in color, and then it's got like this like really light blue crystal shell. It's so cool. I love that enemy. We've got the Baldy Longlegs, which is another variation of the Beady Longlegs enemy. I kind of like this one a little more. It looks more bug-like, just because of the like increased visuals of the game, and that does a lot for me. It's why Pikmin 3 is my favorite game. I know it's not really a great reason, but like it just makes everything feel a little bit more realistic. I think Pikmin 3 has the best graphics, even though Pikmin 4 came out like 2 years ago at this point, 2023. I do think Pikmin 3 is better. Like the graphics look a little bit more realistic, and everything feels like a little bit more like it's like actually outside. So I like the baldy long legs a lot more. He's just funny looking. He's cool. He's going in upper B tier. Next we have, these guys are fucking weird. The bearded amprat. They look like a weird dog breed, but they have like mole teeth underneath. Imagine a bob, but it's like in reverse. So you have like the long hair like in front of your face, and then the eyeballs are on the side of their head. But you're supposed to fight them with electric Pikmin because they produce electricity. So they like sort of have this like static effect to them, and then the hair sticks up and you can see the mouth. But they look like a weird dog. They're white with brown spots. I like them as an enemy. The bearded amprat. What an interesting name. I didn't know they were called that. I'm putting them in the bottom of B. I like them. Not great. The bug-eyed crawmad. These enemies I like a lot. They appear up out of the ground. They kind of just look like lobster with like bug eyes. I'm putting them at the bottom of A. They're a good, like, classic water enemy. Here's another regular red Bulborb. This is the best picture of him yet. He looks so good here. He looks a little awkward in this photo, but I like him. These two are having a stare-off. He's going top of S. He's just iconic. The burrowing snagret model from Pikmin 3 is awesome. He has feathers. He actually has, like, the lizard scales and stuff. They're annoying to fight. They come up out of the ground, and they, like, eat your Pikmin and stuff. He's going top of A for me. I love the burrowing snagret. The next guy is the calcified crushblat, and this is a secret enemy in Pikmin 3 that you find by like going off into this side area and walking through like a river. And he feels like, for the same reason that I really like the armored Maudad, I'm putting this guy like A tier. I like the secret stuff that's sort of like off to the side in the game, like that you find sort of after you think you've already completed it. He looks like he has like long striped legs and just like a big circular body, no arms, and then he's covered by this like crystal shell that sort of looks like, I don't know, like a jackfruit, I guess. I don't know. We have the desiccated skitterleaf, which is just a skitterleaf but brown. This is the best the game has ever looked. It's really good. I think it's going in A tier, even above the other one, because I like the like fall leaf color a little more. Got the ball bear. I like him less here. Making this guy more realistic looking actually kind of makes him freaky. I don't like how chapped his lips look. And he also just looks like he doesn't, like the ball bear looks like awkward, like he doesn't want to be there. So this time he's going in B tier. Here's another red bulb. Here's the dwarf bulborb. Is this not just the red bulborb again? Oh, this is the dwarf bulborb. Dwarf bulborb. Okay. I mean, you're just going to go in B tier, I guess, again. Also, this Bulborb one I'm putting at the bottom of B tier. I don't like him as much. The orange ball bear. This time they made them brown instead of like fully black, which I think is interesting. They unblackfaced them, and I actually do like this design a lot. The orange tone is like a lot nicer. I think the more realistic graphics of Pikmin 3 fit the orange Bulborb here a little bit nicer. They look like a lot cooler and a little bit more like reptilian. They have like dark black eyes with like yellow irises, and they glow at night. I'm even going to put him, I think, in A tier. You will notice a lot of my Pikmin 3 bias here if you look towards the top. I like a lot more of the Pikmin 3 enemies because it's my favorite. Fiery Blowhog, again, I don't really know that they did too much with the design here. I think it looks better, but that's just because it like looks nicer. It almost looks a little bit more, actually, you know, it looks more artificial, so I'm putting him at the bottom. Like it looks a little bit more inorganic to me. Then we have the Flighty Joustmite, which is the guy that sits underground and waits to stab you. He's got like a helmet. It looks like the cutter ability from Kirby is the helmet, but the helmet is red instead of orange, and then it has like an orange fin on the top. They bury underground, and then they jump out and fly, and then they like stick your Pikmin with their like long nose. I think they're cool. Like top of B, I guess. They're not better than the Bulborb variations, but they're cool. Next guy is the Hermit Crawmad. They're cool. They kind of really just look like angry red shrimp. I'm not gonna show my bias so much as to put them in A, but I do think they're better than the earlier Pikmin 2 version of them, and they look more like a crawdad. Like they look more like a real shellfish. So I'm putting them in B tier. Oh, this guy's awesome. The iridescent flint beetle from Pikmin 3, they gave him like an awesome, like, he has like whiskers that turn into a mustache, and his eyes are like bright purple. He looks like he would like sell, he looks like a vendor in Silksong. I actually love this design. I'm putting him in S tier. Um, he might even be the thumbnail of the video. Who knows? But I love him. He looks aggressively French. If he was a Pikmin enemy and a beetle. And then we have the regular Joustmite, which just sits underground and doesn't fly. And because of that, it's less annoying than the other one. So I'm just putting it above that. It's going in high B or like upper B tier, but better than the flying one, which I'm actually going to put lower B because it's annoying to deal with. Number 3, we have the Medusal Slurker, which is a crazy name. You find rock Pikmin in the third game, like locked in this thing. And they're really easy to fight, but they kind of have like this cool like jellyfish effect to them, and they float. I like them a lot. It's one of the first enemies you encounter in the game. I think I'm gonna go upper B here, just because they're just cool. 3. What is that? The mysterious life form. Oh, they qualify this as something different than the Plasm Wraith. This is the final form of the Plasm Wraith. It's like a big cube. I think the whole thing is supposed to be that like all of these like goop enemies are actually the same thing, and they like change from Pikmin game to Pikmin game, but they're like all the same like force that is running the planet or whatever. I think they're cool. I don't love them. I'm gonna put it bottom of C, I guess. We have the Nectar's Dandifly. These things are really cool. They have nectar on them. You throw your Pikmin at them, and I think they're a much more like bug-like design than the other. I know I don't like the Honey Wisps. I'm putting them bottom A. I think they're cool. Orange Bulborb, again, much better design here. They ditched the black face. Huge fan of that. I actually like the dwarf. The dwarf one is cuter. So this guy can go upper B. Brown face, orange behind, brown spots, and like these dark black eyes with these like really cool irises. This is one of my favorite enemies ever, the Peckish Aristocrab. One, it's got a great fucking name. 2, he's peckish, he's super hungry, but also he's got this big meaty claw on him. It's an S tier enemy for me. I'm a big fan. You have to break the claw with your rock Pikmin, and they become like one of the more iconic enemies of Pikmin 3. They're cool. It just looks like a crab. We call it the onion crab because like the base looks like an onion, and then they've got this like crystal claw with these like yellow eyes. And then we've got the Fozbat, which is a smaller version of the boss, which is the Behemoth Fozbat. This guy's cool. He's kind of like cute, but sort of weird. I'm putting him bottom B. This is like what they come out of. It's called the Fozbat Pod. I don't like weird inorganic things like this that like. It just looks too alien. It's not that I don't. It's just because it freaks me out. It's not that I think it like looks bad or is a bad design. With a Plasm Wraith, which is just like a giant golden puddle of goo, which I do like more than the other like goop enemies. So I'm gonna put them at bottom of B. But I do think it was sort of like an underwhelming, final boss. Like the Bulblax feels more like a Pikmin enemy. All of the like cop outs of it just being like some alien goo at the end of every other Pikmin game, I actually don't really like as much. I don't know if that's a hot take or not, but it's my opinion. This is my tier list. Then we have the Puckering Blino, which is sort of what it sounds like. It's like based off of a minnow, but it looks a little bit more. It has like a little like beak instead of like a fish mouth. They're kind of cool. They're a good like underwater enemy. I'll put them towards the top of B. Nothing crazy. We have another Puffy Blowhog. Still don't really like him. I like the design the most out of this, but it's just because it looks the nicest. It's going in C. These guys are weird. The Pyroclasmic Slooch. I love getting Slooch. We're putting it at middle of B. It looks like an evolved version of like a slug. They're kind of weird. They're like fiery. It looks like a puddle of like magma, I guess would be a good way of describing it. This guy, the Quaggled Myroclops, is my second favorite boss from Pikmin 3, and he's going S tier because he's cool as hell. Right under the Armored Baudad. You go and try. The whole goal of Pikmin 3 is that you're trying to find food for your planet, but you're all these like the Copites who you play as is the race of like alien people that you play as. And they're on Earth trying to find food, but they're really small, so they can collect regular-sized fruit and get a lot of food from it. And so the Quaggled Myroclops is this like giant thing that looks like a strawberry, and it's like sitting out of the ground. But then you go and pick it and try and get your Pikmin to harvest it, and it's actually this like organism. The eyes sprout out from the top of the strawberry, and it has these like giant legs, and it takes up the ground underneath and like like stands up out of the ground, and it's so huge and giant, and it just looks really cool. Like it's just this giant like strawberry looking guy, and he's got eyes under it, but it's like he's got a tongue underneath. It's a really, really cool boss. It's one of my favorite bosses. It reminds me of something like out of Shadow of the Colossus, which I just like that kind of like scale in games. Like it just makes you feel small. He's cool. Red Spectralid, that's a butterfly. Big fan. He's going up in A, I suppose. Not as good, or like the graphical fidelity's better, so he's going up. But it is just a butterfly. It's definitely not S tier. There's another Pikmin 3 boss, the Sand Belching Mirror Slug, which I do like a lot. All the bosses in Pikmin 3 just like feel really big. I like him, but not more than I like the Emperor Ball Blacks, and actually not more than I like these guys either. But he is cool. He buries under the sand and like opens up voids and like gets all of the sand into his mouth, and you have to like avoid being sucked in by him and whatever. It's a cool boss. This is the minion and my least. This is Scornet and Scornet Maestro. I don't like them. Scornet Maestro looks odd to me. The mouth is like, it looks like a big bee, but the mouth is like a harp. It's a cool design, but I don't. It like kind of freaks me out a little bit if I'm being honest. Like it's definitely good design. I'm putting him up in B. He's cool looking. But it's like the main. It's to get you to use flying Pikmin in the game. All of its like little minions will fly around and you have to catch them and whatever. It's cool, but sort of a little bit irritating to me. And we have the Shaggy Longlegs, which looks like the other like long leg enemies of the game, but kind of it like listened to, I don't know, like exclusively Korn, I guess. He's got like long black hair. He looks like a little emo. But I love him for that. And he's going A tier. Because it just like feels more unique than the other like long leg enemies. Like it's got a little bit more of an identity because it's got this like funny like furry. It looks like it has the haircut of like the people from The Conjuring, like the long black hair. It's kind of cool and freaky. Sorry, I'm trying to go a little faster. These are again the oh my god, what are these called? The sheer grubs. Female one goes in C. This guy goes in D. Oh, what? There's a swarming sheer grub. Oh, these things are annoying to fight. They're green. They look like they have the same model as the female one, but instead of being pink, they're green. I don't like them. This is another shearwig. The model looks nicer than the other ones, but it kind of just looks like a bug to me. It's just going mid B tier. These guys are cool. These are called Skeeter Skates. They're like water striders in real life, like the bug, but they have like a little water vial on the top. I don't love them. I definitely like them more than some of these guys, so I'll put them like mid B. Nothing too crazy to write home about. They're a good enemy. Skitterleaf, this goes A tier. That's peak enemy design. That's a bug that blends in right there. That's cool. Or did I put them B tier? Where did I put them? See, like I can't even find. No, they are. Yeah, they're an A. Okay. We've got these guys. They're called Scutter Chucks. Okay, I don't know if I can say that. There's so many things on here that I feel like are slur adjacent. I'm going to start calling Jackson half of these and see what he says. The ball bear, he looks unassuming. He's going in B again, next to his little like dwarf ball bear. Where is he? Or did I put him low? Oh, I did. He looks better though. The adult ball bear. I'm putting him in B. Scutterchuck, I like your name. You kind of got a lot going on. You can go bottom B. You threw like it's like a beetle with a big crystal rock on its head. It throws it at you to try to crush your Pikmin. You're supposed to break the rock with a rock Pikmin. It's kind of all he's got going on. These are called Spuddlefish. They look like cuttlefish, and they spit ink at you. They're kind of annoying to fight, but I like them. They're going B tier. Swooping Snitchbug. These guys are fun. At least in this game, because you actually have like a means to fight them. So I feel like I like them a little more. I'll put them bottom B. Bottom B, and I'll move the Pikmin 1 to be with him. This is again the Toady Bloister. I'm gonna again put them like mid bottom B tier. This is the Behemoth Fozbat. Again, a cool guy. I like them more than the small ones. The boss fight is really cool because it'll turn invisible in the dark, and then you have to like turn the lights on and it'll fall down. I like it more than the other like desert boss. It's the boss that you fight the boss that you would get a preview of in the demo of the game, which is just like a core memory for me. So I'm going to put him top A tier. And actually, I'm not going to go through all the Pikmin 4 enemies because now that I'm looking at it, everything in Pikmin 4 is actually just an enemy from another game. Other than the fact that I do love the design for, oh my god, what are these guys called? The Mamuta from Pikmin 4. So I'm putting him in A tier. And I'm running out of time, and there's something else that I want to do before I end the episode. So the Mamuta from Pikmin 4 goes in A tier because he looks friend-shaped, and he looks like an ugly doll, and I like him. But that's my bias. But I will finish the rest of them for Pikmin 3 because it does still have unique enemies. This guy's name is the Waddlepuss, and I like him a lot because his name is funny, and I think he's cute. It blows up like a balloon and then shoots a bunch of bubbles out that like float your Pikmin into the air, which is nice. But you know, I guess kind of annoying to deal with. And I just like his name as Waddlepuss. He can go, like, mid to B tier, I suppose. And then we've got the Water Dumple again, in the highest fidelity that we've seen him yet. With his great name, he's going bottom of A tier with the other one. But with a better, decorated veteran, I won't move you. And again, these are all just repeats. This guy is new. The Whip Tongue Bulborb is new. He is new for Pikmin 3. It looks like a regular Bulborb, but it has like an anteater mouth. I like what they did with the design. It has like a brown front and then like a white back with brown spots, but it has like a snout instead of like the long, like rotund sort of like, I don't know why I said that, the long rotund like nose of the regular Bulborb. It has like a snout and then it has like an anteater tongue. So I'm going to put him bottom of A tier. Everything okay, but actually I forgot. They did update the Wogpole design for Pikmin 3, and I like it way more. It looks way more like a frog tadpole than like it does in the original one, or the original 2 games. So I think I'm gonna put him in B tier. He's a lot of fun. He looks bouncy. I'll put him like higher than the other ones. He'll be like high B. But that's just kind of what I like about Pikmin is like the more like realistic looking enemies. I'm gonna say this is my conclusive tier list. The Bulborb from Pikmin 3, he's peak. Bulborb from Pikmin 1 is peak. The Smoky Prog from Pikmin 1 is classic. Armored Maudad, that's my favorite Pikmin boss. Quaggled Clops, another one of my favorite Pikmin bosses. I can't remember any of these guys' names, dude. I'm so bad about this. Crab. The Peckish Aristocrab. I didn't even know that we always just called it Onion Crab, but he's great. One of my favorites. Another Bulborb. Plasm Wraith. The best of the Wraith enemies. Definitely S tier. Better than or he's not the Plasm Wraith. He's the Water Wraith. Yeah, Water Wraith. The Plasm Wraith is the golden one. This one I like a lot less. This guy I don't even remember. It's an enemy typology that shows him in every Pikmin game, but I just like it and not as much as the other bosses. This guy's awesome. I love the like sort of false effect enemies, like mimicry in nature, where like animals will like sort of make a different like have a pattern on their exterior to sort of like mimic a different animal. How like there are some moths that have like eyes on the back, or like patterns that look like eyeballs to scare off predators. I think that stuff is so cool. And then we've got the iridescent flint beetle. But in Pikmin 3, his design is peak, and he looks French because of his funny mustache. So those are my S tier enemies. We can look through the rest. I've sort of already gone through the tier list. You can go back. I guess I'll include a link to the screenshot of it. But that's it for this portion of the episode. I have some other stuff that I want to talk about, which we will get into now. I'm glad that my game clip was recorded. So, I have a fish fact for us today. And I also have, or I guess I have a fish of the week, which it comes with a fact. I'm at home right now in Cleveland, Ohio. This is my childhood bedroom. And when I moved out of Columbus, when I was done with my undergrad, left my fish with my family at home in Cleveland because driving them from Columbus to Cleveland was much easier than finding a way to drive them across the country to California with me. So I left them here for my family to take care of. I had 9 fish at the beginning when I left them here when I started my semester at SciArc in Los Angeles earlier this year in the fall. I now have 3 fish left, which, if you didn't know, is 33% of 9. Most of them are dead. But the 2 that have remained, there are 3 left, obviously. One of them is a little loach that lives in the bottom. He's a coolie loach. He's long, but he is not the fish of the week. Because I wanted to honor the fact that 2 of my fish, who I've had since the very first time that I got fish, and have lived the whole time, miraculously, because I am not the best pet owner, and my family nearly killed the rest of my fish, is the zebra danio, which, after doing research for this week for the fish of the week, the zebra danio, I found out it's called the zebra danio because it has like horizontal stripes. I guess zebras don't have horizontal stripes. They have vertical stripes, but they have stripes like a zebra. But it's actually known for its extraordinary role in science, which I didn't know. But it is one of the most widely used model organisms in biological research because of how resilient they are, which is really funny because they're the only 2 of the only fish that I've had since the beginning that are still alive. They're actually so tough as fish and hardy that they were among the first species of fish sent into space to because they wanted to study the effects of gravity on vertebrates. And so they sent zebra danios. So that was an interesting fact that I learned. They also, their embryos develop really quickly. So when you genetically modify them, it's really easy to see in which ways that like actually changes how they grow. And they share, they develop really quickly. Their embryos are transparent, which is just nice because they've been used as like a model of genetic modifications in organisms, and they're not people. So it's nice. So the fish of the week is the zebra danio. I'm thankful for my zebra danios, which are right over here, for surviving this entire time with my family, not cleaning or feeding my tank. I guess they fed it because otherwise they'd definitely be dead. But my tank was so disgusting when I came back home. And now for the poem. This is not a poem, but something instead. This is actually a reading, or I'm going to be reading, a blog post from Jackson's blog, which he has told me to read multiple times, and it's not that I was ignoring him, I just didn't really have the time. And then when I remembered that I had to do an episode on my own, I figured it would be fun to sort of read aloud his writing, and then give my thoughts on it, because normally Jackson just reads a poem, and then we kind of sit there and go, oh, that was a nice poem. So this is Jackson's pretty poem for the week. It is called Dreaming of Snake River. And I know that he always starts with a title, and I have no idea how the fuck this is going to relate. And here we go. For the first time in a long time, I feel as though I am grasping back. Back or from what? I don't know. All I know is that I'm squeezing and readjusting to squeeze more. Something exists that I want. I want it more than I've ever wanted anything, but I'm not sure if I have the strength to get there. Even if I could, would I be worthy of it? Or would I realize it was just another waste of time? More than that, it would be a waste of a first time in a long time. What deters me is not fear of failure, nor the having taken aim and having sliced a bit left, but the knowing that it did exist or that it could have existed. I could have seen and lived it, and now it's gone. I've squandered it. I've squashed it, utterly and completely. Now it's gone. It was always gone. That should hurt us, and it does. I spent a lot of time thinking about Ohio since I moved back recently. Ohio is home to me. It always has been. I can't shake this feeling, though, that it's eating me alive. It's so real to me, I'm not even sure it's worth explaining. Ohio is everything to me. It is where I grew up. It is who I am. It has defined every corner of my own understanding. I never liked the phrase, we are products of our own environment, because at its core, it is a very dehumanizing phrase. It eviscerates our agency in exchange for an answer that is all too easy to be correct. Yet, it is the reality I come to understand more and more as the grand scheme progresses. We are who we are because of the people and spaces that inhabit our nearest perspective. It is undeniable. Of course we, at the helm, steer the ship in the direction we would like it to go. I wonder, though, how much of our destination do we owe the tides that whisk or the winds that whisper? Deep in all our subconscious lies Ohio's earthen mantle. We would like to believe that we steer the ship and we alone lead the crew to a land of milk and honey. But the way I see it, the tectonic plates shake us further than we could ever hope to. There's this understanding among the tourists and the outsiders that Ohio is a strange place, one filled with infinitely sprawling drab and an ever-pervasive melange anger directed at anything that stabs us in the wrong way. To a certain extent, I echo that understanding. I have felt those things. They are maybe less so the spicy sauce to the curry, like how they are commonly portrayed, and more so the bay leaves and the broth to a chicken noodle soup. Past the spiky exterior is a tender meat, one that aches in confusion. Why are we here? Did we deserve this? What will you allow me to be? These are questions I think everyone from Ohio asks themselves, whether they know it or not. We, and by extension I, really are products of the soybean farms and steel mills we seem to innately know like the inside of our shirts. The movie that plays in the background of my mind is rendered through whitewashed jeans, a six-pack of Windex, and a 2018 navy blue Ford F-150 STX. These are not exaggeration. This is my lifeblood, and there is nothing I can do about it. I will always have this way of thinking. I think it drives some people crazy. It got to me too at one point. Standing in the face of an immovable anxiety, how are you supposed to cope with that? I don't blame them for just lying down and tanking it. Some people want to use that energy and point fingers, either at the powers that be or the other within. I guess I'm not interested in that so much. We can solve your political problems whichever way your pendulum swings, it doesn't matter. In the end, we will still be here. We will still have to reckon with this state because we are trapped here. Yes, even you. Like flies to flypaper, when Ohio reaches for you, the struggle is already over. Everyone in my life from Ohio has this certain attachment to this strange place. It feels like everyone wants to leave, but no one is actually able. We all understand that somewhere else there exists a place for us that makes more sense, that feels right and true. It is a cruel joke that none of us are able to make a focused effort to actually achieve that, right? Of course, there are the lucky few who do find their forever home, but they always end up coming back. Growing up, me and all the people I was surrounded by were told that we would one day do great things. We were bright and curious and ahead of the game. It felt like the stars were aligning and everyone was trying their best to help us get there. Maybe for our parents, our teachers, and our mentors, they knew they had already lost. The next generation, through the passing of our guardians, learned mistakes onto us. Through the passing of our guardians learned mistakes onto us, maybe we would be able to strike through the Great Barrier. That would be enough for them. But how many of us is that? I look back on my peers and ask, what have we become? We are not stars, but they're stars. Our guardians believe because they had no other choice, not because we truly saw the way out. We were just people, no different than any other random group of people. Some of us intelligent, some of us kind, some of us stuck believing in a dream sold to us by liars and thieves who themselves did not know that they were lying or stealing. The guardians sold us the same lie that was sold to them by the politicians, the cable brokers, the casinos, the banks, and the rest of the corporate congregation. Despite the fact that they knew it was a lie, they had discovered the truth for themselves, and yet they continued to hope that it might be true. You could win it big if you tried. Look around us. Does it feel like any of us have won? Are there astronauts and brain surgeons and pop stars in this crowd tonight? Today, when I dust off those old memories, all I see are cowards. People who knew deep down in their heart what could have been. People who felt the pulse, the scream of passionate desire, and they killed it. They traded their freedom into GameStop for a pitiful college degree or a job at their dad's roofing company. Not that those are inherently bad things, but they were never inherently us. This is Ohio, a legion of people who find themselves toiling to please somebody else, and in doing so, leave themselves unpleased. The more optimistic might call that noble. To me, it's nothing short of sickening. I am at odds with myself. How could I call this place home? I have seen the trap get constructed. I know how every piece is made. I know how to put the entire trap together. I have seen people paint the trap, make it theirs. I have seen people acknowledge the trap. I have heard them explain to me how it is dangerous and idiotic to fall into it, and I have seen those same people willingly walk into it themselves and exclaim how it was on purpose. Now I live in this land of tricks. I lived here once and I came back. How stupid do I have to be? When I was younger, I longed for the day that I would leave. I thought I would leave and I would run as far as anyone would let me, and I would never look back. But I look back every day. It's impossible not to. Ohio lives on the surface of my eyelids. The lens through which I see is Ohio. Truthfully, it exhausts me. It will continue for as long as I eat and drink. It will continue to exhaust me. But there's nothing I can do. I'm not dumb enough to walk into the trap like everyone else, but I am dumb enough to wrestle with it into eternity. So let's wrestle. What is home? I spent 2 years trying to answer that question, and I'll gladly spend more. Home is something I'm constantly trying to find. I don't think I've ever had a home. Maybe it's a really simple question. I could just say home is where I'm from, the east side of Cleveland. Or maybe it's where I live now in Columbus. To me, this answer is too simple. And it's not friends or family. That's a little too on the nose. Instead, I think I'll be brave and say, for me, home doesn't exist right now. I want it to, but it just doesn't. Maybe it did at one point, and I just didn't notice. Do we have to work to create home, or does home just sort of happen sometimes? Is it a place, an idea, that fuzzy feeling I get when I crack open a new tub of ice cream and feel safe, or some combination of those things? I don't know. It's not that simple. Sometimes I get whiffs of home. I can point at things and say they are home, a keyboard, the carpet, a wooden spoon. These things have home written in their frame, but home is not the math equation I'm making it out to be. I guess what I'm trying to say is there's this dissonance between what a traditional idea of home is and what I think it feels to be home. On one hand, what I associate with home is the dull monotony of being in the place where I'm from and remembering all the reasons I wanted to leave in the first place. I think about the people that I had held so close and the way they have given themselves away to throes of dangerous thinking. I will not belabor you with specific stories, but I have seen friends and family call out to the world in a time of need, and Ohio destroyed them in return. Of course, we all are responsible for each other, whether they are similar to us or not. It is in some sense our fault when others falter towards the path of least resistance. Then again, who am I to say what others ought to be? If what they have is what they want, then why do I feel sad for them? I suppose it is a reminder of all the strange cruelty of humanity. Or maybe I'm not really saying anything at all. On the other hand, I think in all of us, there is this need or this want to understand who we are. To find a place or a person or a painting that sends us a message. And when we read that message, we blush and we cry. We buckle under the weight that has been lifted because we can finally let it out. To just be in a space that can really see you and give you a pat on the back. To me, that's enough to keep searching. Keep trying. To understand that this could exist if we try is the reason I find turning over and giving up to be so disappointing. We can aspire to so much, and we can believe in so much more. But we need a guide. Ourself alone cannot muster the right way forward on inhibition and gut feeling alone. I need people that see it my way. I need people who can speak to me in a way that I understand. I need Ohio. I'm scared of being trapped in Ohio forever. It sounds childish just typing it out now, but I'm being honest. I knew from a young age that I wanted to leave, that leaving would give me the opportunity to do so many things that I would never be able to do here. I've heard stories from family about how they have always wanted to leave, how they had dreams of doing some big thing, but when the going got tough, they gave up on that. I've also heard the stories from family about how they did leave, and they realized the world was too big for them, and so they came back. I've seen what this place does. It demoralizes, sucks the soul out of your body, and laughs at you for ever thinking that you could have been something. I don't want to be that. I don't have to be that. But I can't quite leave everything behind either. To give up the way I see the world isn't impossible, but it's not realistic. We live in a world where the people we hate are not allowed to change. In our minds, we trap them in a hyperbolic time chamber where they cannot learn or grow in any way so that we may continue to hate them. They're permanently stuck in our memory banks the way we last experienced them. But how cruel of us is this? They do and will change, constantly. We are all stuck changing all the time, whether or not we actually want to admit it. We cannot deny our change. No matter how painful it is or how long it takes, when we reach a temporary state of stillness, only then can we appreciate how we have grown. We can also let the people around us grow, but we have to be okay with letting go of what we had, so that we are open enough to accept something new. We should let people change. We should let home change too. I should let it be what it wants to be. Maybe then I'll get a little closer to what I want. Or maybe not. Maybe that's just Ohio talking. And that was Dreaming of Snake River by my lovely co-host Jackson. Whew, wow. Okay. I feel like I just have to let out a sigh. That was a lot, man. But I do kind of understand, I think, what he's trying to say. and I will try my best to respond to this in as genuine of a way as I possibly can. And I feel like no matter what I say, I'm not going to do justice to the feelings that I have in my heart right now. But I think I've struggled with a lot of the feelings that Jackson is talking about here for a lot of my life. I think for me, also being from Ohio, it's just such a strange place. And it does, like, I'm home right now, and I've been living in California for the past 3 months. And technically California is now my home, and I guess not really. Legally, Ohio is still my home. I will not change my mailing address until I live out there for a year. But I left to chase a dream, technically. I'm going to graduate school. I took the leap, and I bet on the fact that I will do something meaningful to me or find something meaningful to me while I'm in California. But I think it's difficult to do that, and I wouldn't have been able to do that without giving up a lot of things, I think. Like, a lot of my relationships with people from Ohio, where I'm from, are not as good because I don't get to see them as often. And actually, it really sucks because I think a lot of my favorite people in the whole world now live in Columbus, and I just moved. And that can be very isolating, and you feel like you're, I'm supposedly like chasing my dreams out somewhere else, to try and create a better future for myself. But I could also see myself just getting sucked back into the void that is Ohio, because it feels like home and it feels comfortable. And I don't even necessarily mean like this is my childhood bedroom right here that I'm talking to you from right now. And I don't mean necessarily that I'm going to come back and I'm going to live here. I think by the time I graduate, I'll be 24. I don't really want to be 24 and living with my parents. I'm really hoping I can find a job of my own. I think that's part of life, to move out and sort of like forge your own path. But a lot of people from Ohio leave to forge their own path, and they try and they come back to Ohio. And I'm not saying that it's an Ohio exclusive thing. I think a lot of people, we go out into the world and we experience it for what it is. And it's almost just too much for any one person to handle. I think I've been thinking about that a lot recently, and actually I've been doing a lot of writing about that same thing, and how I feel like I had so many expectations for myself and for other people in the world, and as I have gotten older, those expectations continue to not be met, not only because they were unrealistic for myself, but also because I can only perceive the world from my own eyes. And when I think things are going to be a certain way and then they aren't, I don't really have the right to be disappointed. But also, I'm just making assumptions about the environment around me based on what I know. And so it feels weird to go out and to, experience, especially like living somewhere like Los Angeles. People are so different. But I still feel like I found a little bit of what you would call home, like in Los Angeles. And I found people that I think I love and that I enjoy spending time with, and who add, value to the hours of my day in the way that, I just enjoy spending time with them, or we have a good conversation. I love to talk. I talked way too much about each individual fucking enemy on the Pikmin tier list, which is why this is going to be a longer episode. And I didn't even get through all of them. But like, I love to hear people's stories. And I think I like to get all philosophical and talk and be a little bit deep, because for me as a person, hearing how other people think about the world helps me sort of put into perspective like how big it is, and how even though the world is so big, I like to hear when people think similar things to me, or like we all have the same hopes and dreams, because even though we're all from totally different places, we all want the same things for each other and for our families and for our friends. But at the end of the day, a lot of the time we go out to, do things in the world and try and like make a name for ourselves and make a career. And, and sometimes it's just too much, and sometimes the world is too big, and people are mean and rude, and we don't acknowledge our own flaws in other people, and other people don't acknowledge their flaws in us, and we don't acknowledge that we're all imperfect, and things just don't work out. And I always thought, especially with the internet, that like we would be so smart and perfect, and like we would have everything figured out. And like when I was a kid, I was like, oh, adults like have it all figured out, and like I'm gonna be an adult, and I'm gonna learn so much, and I'm gonna go out into the world, and I'm gonna and everything's gonna be okay. And I always thought that when I was a kid, and now I'm going out into the world to try and like make everything okay, and I'm not able to do that because I'm just one person, and that sucks. And here I am back in Ohio, and I haven't moved back here yet. And I'm going to try not to let the world break me, but it could, and maybe it will. But yeah, I think the world is tough, and a lot of the time we want to go back to the place that we think is home because it feels familiar and comforting, and it's just big enough for us. But I think we should at least get out there and try it and see if there's somewhere else that we belong before we come back home. Because maybe your home is somewhere else that you aren't from. And I think I've definitely, not that my home is Los Angeles, I definitely don't think that. But I think I don't know, I like going out and meeting people and figuring out where their home is, because I think it helps me feel a little bit more normal in all of life's weirdness. But yeah, we'll all find our home. I have a lot more to say about this, but I'm going to talk to Jackson about it on the side and in person. But I wanted to make sure that I read that because I think it is important. And Jackson's an excellent writer. And I'm not just saying that to egg him on. I don't even know if he's going to watch this. He might not. But this is my punishment for leaving Jackson to do an episode all by himself. I hope everyone enjoyed it. Life's good. This has been Henry. And thank you so much for listening. I have a fun little clip that I'm going to play right now of what I've been getting up to. But I think we're all going to be good, and shit's going to work itself out. Not to get all philosophical, because it's supposed to be a podcast. But have a great day, and I appreciate you.